Hey, Bayek, it's me, and this is a video I wanted to do for quite a while. I watched this film again last night, and I was just blown away again by it. Even though, was this the end of Hammer? Was this the final nail in the coffin? This is To the Devil a Daughter from 1976, starring Sir Christopher Lee in his last appearance for Hammer. Also, we've got Richard Widmark. They always had to have some American actor. We've got Natasha Kinski, quite a controversial role here. And then we've got I always love a good old James Bond connection, don't I? Well, I've got one. Honor Blackman. Yeah. Honor Blackman is in here. Goldfinger. Pussy Galore. Who can forget that? Also, there's another bit which is interesting. She was also in The Avengers before Diana Rigg. So, there we are. It's direct and an interesting, of course, side point is that Peter Sykes, who directed this film, also directed Avengers episodes as well in the 1960s. So he was very familiar with his career is very much television orientated. But what can I say about this film? It's been perhaps criticised such a lot. It's seen as perhaps a low point. But hey, it's not a low point. This film has such a lot of great things going for it. When I watch it, you know what? I mean, the budget it was actually so low, the budget. It was £360,000. And I'm looking at this and thinking, wow! Absolutely wow. I mean, I can't believe it. It was well spent money, I'll tell you. What I love about this is it's got great locations, and I think that really brings out the film. It really changes it, that it's not studio bound. And also for me, from a nostalgia point of view, I love seeing, the world in the 70s, and we've got London, some great looking at London and that, some great shots, and the cinematography is just fantastic. It is, and I just love seeing that era. You do when you go thinking back to that time, as a child and what have you. It's so interesting to see it. Imagine as a child, I say I was a teenager then. Yes. Well, there we are. Me, a teenager, yeah. Anyhow, so it's a very interesting, and this film, you compare it with the 1950s films, and they are completely different. The gothic style, the way the newer 70s Hammer films started to change they became more graphic generally, and also they start to move into the world, if you want to put it like that, into the present world. And this film perhaps is the final blueprint of actually landing in the present world, with old Richard Widmark there representing that American lead. He does an adequate job, I'd say, in this film. He's the sort of supposedly the good guy, Richard Widmark, who's fighting the satanic priest, if you want to call it, of Sir Christopher Lee, who is absolutely superb. I think this is a great performance by Sir Christopher Lee. Absolutely great performance. He's really evil in it, and he's great at doing it. What a performance, This is what I don't understand again. The critics, I mean, what? I'll tell you something. What do critics know? Because this film received a lot of criticism. I know why it received that criticism. There are obviously issues. Dennis Wheatley, this was his second Hammer story, totally dissociated it. He thought it was obscene, but he was kind of an old fossil kind of view of the world. The Devil's Rides Out, which they filmed, again, Sir Christopher Lee was in that, is a great film. There's no doubt about it. But he was a good guy in that, was Sir Christopher Lee. In this, he's really evil. But he's so good. He's just like the Peter Cushing who can just bring something that different and special to a film. And he does it beautifully. Absolutely. What can you say about it? But the problem was the script. I'm afraid the script, well, they just didn't quite get it right at the end, and it's shown in the film. The ending just lets it down. It all happens so quick. And they even tried to get extra funds to film a better ending and improve it, but that never happened. I imagine Richard Widmark had quickly gone back to America with his paycheck and probably didn't want anything more to do with this film. It could never happen. And also the controversy around Natasha Kinski's age was also seen as a problem. But I think one thing you should remember about this film, it was a Hammer German production, right? And there was some great stuff filmed again on the locations in Germany. But what is also important to point out is that for a film that has been criticised such a lot, it actually made money in the box office, which some of the Hammer films hadn't. They'd struggled for various reasons. But this made money. It reflected that time when people were, since The Exorcist was released, all these kind of films, Hammer was seen as perhaps jumping on board that kind of possession, satanic stuff. And they'd done a good job. Yeah, whatever you may say, they'd done a blooming good job here, especially with all the resources. And they were just following the American way. They had no choice, I don't feel. They had to adjust with the market. But they still kept that Hammer signature in there. It was still in there. And you had somebody like Sir Christopher Lee giving such a wonderful performance. It just epitomised where Hammer could really have gone. Could really have done something, but it wasn't to be. They made money, but our money had to go to the Germans, and then they were kind of stuck, and that was it. It's kind of sad, really. It's sad because, Hammer's such a great name to end like this, though, because it hasn't ended, and it didn't end totally at all, but in terms of like this classic era of films, this was it. And of course, people get, ridiculous, the critics about it all. But unfortunately, some critics are now actually realizing, yes, this is a good film. It's well filmed, well put together. The story is great, apart from the ending. Then I think, it works well. It's frightening as well. It's gory. It's got all sorts of stuff. It's not massively gory. It's not like your slasher films, but for a Hammer film, it's quite gory and quite frightening. What else can you say? This is just a great, great film. And I'm so pleased it's in my collection. And I'm standing up for it. I will stand up for this film. And mind you, I stand up for most Hammer films. Anything connected with Hammer, I tend to stand up for it. And I'm not putting up with you people who keep criticising Hammer. No, don't criticise Hammer. I'm here to hammer home that Hammer made some damn good films. As I said before, even a bad Hammer film is a good Hammer film, because there's always some good things that you can find in that. So remember that. That's why I think they were great. They were so great. They took that period in time and were just fantastic. And I'm going to keep banging that home. And I'm going to keep reviewing more and reminding you more. I'm sure this will get an even better release again, maybe, at some time. It's still not bad release. The Blu-ray quality is great on here. There's a great documentary as well, talking to various people involved in the production of the film and their opinions of it now. And what more can I say about this film? That it is highly recommended. If you've never seen this, okay, I'm sure you're immediately going to scream out. But as I say, the performances, you just look at Sir Christopher Lee, it's just amazing. And the cinematography. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. And what more can I say? I sound like a preacher man again. A preacher man. But I suppose I am preaching. But this film, watch it. If you can get all the way, watch it. Go on. Do it. Yes. So, right. Okay, so all I'm going to say now is, if you're enjoying, just try and subscribe if you want. Then you get notifications. And if you like this, just give it a like. I don't know, do whatever you want. But most of all, just thank you. Thank you for watching these. All these people that are beginning to watch my videos, thank you. Thank you so much. And all I'm going to say now is, I'll see thee, and I'll see thee again.